All right, so the 5-step listing presentation. What is the first thing you do after you set a listing appointment? Pre-qualify. So these are the questions. I'm gonna send this to everyone in this room. Drew, I don't have your information. So if you wanna send me an email, soldbynelsonglobal@gmail.com, I'll send it to you. Okay, so does anyone not have these list of questions? You don't? Okay, I'll make sure you get it. Just email me if you don't have it, soldbynelsonglobal@gmail.com. So when you're prospecting, you should have this on a sheet of paper when you're making calls and filling it out as you go. Austin's shaking his head. Of all of these that you've filled out completely, how many of those listings did you take?
All of them. I think like the listing I just took yesterday, the other day, I pre-qualified the guy so well, we went straight to the paperwork. There's no presentation, slides on here.
These questions are not for the client, they're for you. When you become super busy, when we were super busy in the middle of 2021, I would double book my appointment times, and whoever answered all the questions, that's where I would go, and whoever didn't, I would give them to a junior member of my team. Because if you answer all the questions, 10 out of 10 times you're gonna get the listing. So if you wanna start saving yourself time, stop being afraid of asking these questions. A newer person's tendency is to be scared to ask these questions or think someone's gonna get mad at you or think they're gonna hang up on you. They are not your client anyway. Your clients are gonna answer all these questions and gladly do so, like Anthony and like Austin's clients he currently has listed and sold. Anyone have any questions about the pre-qual? I don't wanna spend too much time on this. So Mr. and Mrs. Seller, I'm sure that you've been keeping up with your Zestimate and what everyone in the neighborhood is selling for. Do you have an idea when I come out what you wanna list the home for? Do you have an idea when I come out what you wanna list the home for? And usually whatever they say, you're just gonna repeat it and write it down. We do not argue over price on the phone. If they tell you $1 million and you know that the neighbor sold for 900, you say, okay, $1 million, got it. We'll talk about it when I get there. What's the worst things you can argue about on the phone? Yep, commission and price. Great, I'm excited to talk to you about it when we get there. I'm sure we'll find something that both of us feel comfortable and confident in. Good, you can see it. So this is the actual listing presentation. Why are we doing this? Objectives and why you? So your objective is to list the property for a price that will cause it to sell. Why you? What are you gonna do different to get the home sold? So keep in mind, we're talking to a lot of for sale by owners, a lot of expireds. What's the number one question they ask you guys on the phone? What do you do differently? All of you have to figure out, what do you do differently? Stephanie, what do you do differently? You're a brand new agent, but you do something better than anyone in this room.
Door knocking, social media.
Social media, how many followers do you have?
All together,
Yep.
about 300K in all my platforms.
Most sellers in today's market would pick you over us. We all have to figure out what's our competitive advantage. Jesse, you're fairly new. What's your competitive advantage? What do you know you're gonna do better than anyone?
Oof, that's a good question. Not too sure yet.
Are you gonna care about your client? Are you gonna work hard for them? You're gonna have the time to dedicate to them? New people, write this down. A lot of agents who are high producing do not have the time to properly dedicate to one client. The one thing that you can do different is you will pay more attention to them than the agent who sold 100 homes. People beat me like that every day. They'll say, oh, do you want to be treated like everyone else or do you want VIP treatment? So even though you're brand new, you still have a way you can beat me. What's another competitive advantage? You have a lot.
Resume, track record, consistency, communication.
Yep. All of us kind of have to figure out what our brand identity is and what we do different than everyone. And you're gonna have to really hammer that when you meet the client. So let's get started. So you're gonna get to the door and you're gonna knock on it, you're gonna have all your stuff in your hand. Say, Austin's gonna come to the door, shake his hand, big smile. So thank you for having me over. I'm excited about getting your home on the market and getting it sold. And then he's gonna, what are you usually gonna look at me like? You're usually gonna make some weird joke. Most people go, oh, are you now? Oh, okay. And you're just gonna be like, just keep going. Don't let people throw you off. Would you like me to take my shoes off? I don't care what the culture is. I don't care how nice the home is, unless it's a complete big sty and you're worried about your shoes getting stolen. You offer to take your shoes off. It's a matter of respect. So you just shake their hand. The first thing I'm noticing is how tastefully you're gonna walk through the house with them as you're walking in. First thing I'm noticing is how tastefully furnished the home is. So when we have offers come in, are we going to be including any of the contents of the home, or are you taking everything with you? Why are we asking that question?
So they can envision you being their agent.
You're assuming
Boom.
something close.
That's my first close. That's my second. How many? I'm literally just getting to the door. How many times have I already closed? Twice. Okay, so first thing I'm gonna. Do you prefer to walk me through the property, or may I walk around much like a buyer would? Most people, what are they gonna want to do?
Show you.
Of course. Exactly. And you want to let them. Great. Do you mind if I step? You want to put your stuff wherever you want to have the conversation. What you don't want is them to be saying, let's go sit on the couch with my 10 cats. Okay, so you want to put them at some place where they can sign your listing agreement. So you're gonna put all your stuff down, you're gonna take a piece of paper and you're gonna take a pen, because they're gonna tell you how wonderful, you know, their little trinkets are and their piece of paint that they did was. And you're gonna write it down like you're really paying attention. Here's a bonus. When it's a couple and you can tell one is really not open to having you there, and they're telling you about some upgrade they did, the one who's like kind of against, you're gonna say, what a great idea. Buyers love that. Was that your idea? I'm telling you, they'll be like, yeah, how'd you know? So that's a little bonus thing. Okay. So once you get back to the table, has anyone seen me do this? And I want you to get comfortable with doing what I ask you to do. You're gonna be in a position of asking them to do a lot of things. You're training them to get comfortable with doing those things. And you're also leading them. Most likely the last agent they had that failed them had zero leadership skills. You want to get comfortable with showing them that you're a leader. It makes people comfortable when they're doing business with you.